Hey there, CFL fans. This is CFL Fanatic here with your Week 15 picks. I'll just open it up here. I'll start with saying Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you enjoy your turkey dinners this weekend. I'm going to give you my picks for Week 15. There's two games to enjoy on Monday while you're enjoying your turkey, so that'll be good. But I'd like to start with the game that starts tonight, Friday, October 9th, 2009. So we'll get right to it. The BC Lions take on the Edmonton Eskimos. We'll start with the Edmonton Eskimos. They've been going through a couple rough weeks. They lost 23-20 to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and then last week they lost 27-17 to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So needless to say, they're struggling. But I really think that Edmonton is just going through a bit of a rough patch. I really think that they are a good team, and I think that they are a Grey Cup contender. They are strong. They do have a strong offense, but it definitely needs work. And I think one of the ways that you give it some work and try and make it better is by using Archie Whitlock, because he's proven himself to be a very good running back who can break a lot of tackles and get you a lot of yards. So we'll move to the BC Lions now. Their offense, needless to say, is very weak. They have an O-line that hasn't done really its job. Buck Pierce took a lot of hits last week against the Riders, so the O-line definitely needs to give him more protection, because after a couple concussions, he's a very vulnerable quarterback. But I give him credit, he's taken a lot of hits. I think BC's key to this game will be utilizing your weapons. Come to think of it, it's kind of surprising that the BC is struggling considering they have so many weapons. I think you need to use Paris Jackson when you're going through the air, as well as Martel Mallet when you're going on the ground. And if you do that, keep plugging away at it, you can get some positive yards. So overall, these two teams have a tied record. The loser will move to 6-8 and take sole possession of last place in the West. But overall, I really think that Edmonton is the better team in this game, so I am going with the Edmonton Eskimos to win this game. So we'll move on to the next game, which is tomorrow, Saturday, October 10th. Of all the picks I had to do, this was probably the easiest one. The Toronto Argonauts taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So we'll start with the Riders. They have a struggling offense, needless to say, but I don't think that's overall because of their receivers or Wes Cates. I think it's more because of their quarterback, Darian Durant. He seems to be struggling. He doesn't seem to really be getting into a rhythm. So I would look to the Riders to see if they would start Stephen Giles. I think that would be a good move. Try to alternate them a little bit, because clearly Durant's not working out for you, so that's why you have another quarterback. Give it a shot. Saskatchewan is struggling, but I think at the end of the day, you need to remember they're still playing the Argos, the worst team in the league. So we'll move to the Argos. Well, I'm an Argos fan. Unfortunately, I haven't been too proud of it this year at 3-10. First of all, if that unit that comes onto the field that they call an offense would do a little bit better, maybe they would be had a better record. But their offense is basically non-existent. They put up a whopping 8 points last week against Montreal. So Jamal Robertson is having a good season, but he's pretty much become a one-man team. And another thing to remember is that Toronto is outcoached big time. Bart Andrus is gotta be about the worst coach in the history of football, as far as I'm concerned. He's done this team no good, and neither has the rest of their coaching staff. So I would say, if not right now, then in the off-season, get rid of Bart Andrus. He's done nothing. So overall, I don't think it's going to be much of a competition. I'm going with the Saskatchewan Roughriders to win this game. So we'll move to Turkey Day, Monday, October 2nd, or 12th, sorry. And this will be an interesting one. The Calgary Stampeders taking on the Montreal Alouettes. We'll start with the Owls. Their O-line struggled last week against Toronto. They gave up 4 sacks on Calvillo in the first half. But in the second half, they seemed to get it under control, so that was good. Montreal's problem is they tend to be putting up field goals rather than touchdowns. We saw that last week against Toronto. And, field goals are good, but you have to put up 7. So their offense is not looking as lightning fast as it was in the early weeks of the season. But their defense is absolutely punishing. They held Toronto to 8 points, which, I know you think it isn't really saying much, but I think that that Montreal's defense has a good organization, and it's very, very well run. So we'll move to the Stamps. They also have a strong defense. They held Hamilton to 14 points last week, which is good. But their offense is struggling, and it really has struggled the entire season. They haven't had a whole lot of games where they put up a ton of points. So, overall, they're not playing like an 8-5 team. Their offense definitely is struggling. I mean, they only managed 15 points last week against Hamilton. They won that one 15-14. So at the end of the day, overall, I think both these teams have a few kinks to work out, as does every team in the CFL at this point. But I am going with the Montreal Alouettes to win this game. And with that, we move on to the final game. This was probably the hardest one to pick a winner for. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So we'll start with the Ticats. They are struggling, needless to say. They've dropped 3 of their last 4. I think a lot of that is due to the fact that Quentin Porter is not performing at his best. So to the head coach, Marcel Belfay, who always says that they need to keep Quentin Porter engaged in the offense because he is the quarterback of the future. And I agree with that, but I really think that if you're going to have a veteran on the sidelines, you need to put him in when your young guy is struggling. So I really think that they could get some more success by putting in Kevin Glenn, which is what I hope Marcel Belfay does. Another advantage they have is they're at home, where their record is 5-2. They've only lost in opening week to the Argos and a couple weeks ago to the Owls. And, pretty much everybody's lost to the Owls this year. Alright, so last but not least, we'll move to the Bombers. They have good special teams, needless to say. And I'm not just talking about the missed field goal touchdown return, which was very, very fun to watch. But I think that Alexis Serna, their kicker, is good. And I think that their kickoff team and kick return team is doing well. But overall, Winnipeg has been having success for the last couple games, but I think that they might be getting a little lucky. Now, I know that a lot of Bombers fans will want to kill me for saying that, but, they've won their last 2. But, I mean, when you think about who they won against, first they won against the Argos. Whoop-de-doo. They're looking like a high school team could beat them. And then you won against the Eskimos, and they clearly caught them on a bad day. So, I think that Winnipeg is having success, and if this success is really genuine and is really serious, they got to keep it up against Hamilton. So I'm expecting to see a very close game, but overall I am going to pick the Hamilton Tiger Cats to win this game. Alright, so that's it for me. I know I'll be watching the game. Right now, as I'm filming this, it's 8:45, so the BC Hamilton game is going to start in 15 minutes. I'll be watching it, so I hope that you will too. And I'll leave you with my score choices for this week.